Be sure to subscribe to Greedy J or he'll foreclose your house and become your stepdad.
Alright, what's up everybody? This is Greedy J here, and we are back with another fun little podcast type of thing here. And today we got my good friend Aaron, not Aaron. And, you know, Aaron with a Y, not Aaron with an I, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep. What's up?
Not much. How you been?
I'm good.
That's good.
Just got back from the gym, so got a good workout in. Now I'm feeling like really refreshed and ready to go.
Lifting weights, pumping weights, gaining all that muscle.
Get them gains, yeah.
Ooh, you trying to get that Yujiro Hanma back?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Just trying to bulk up. No, I'm kidding. Just like trying to get my cardio back up too, and just like just go for toned stuff.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna say for me, like I legitimately have I wouldn't say given up on toning, but more so I'm just going for muscle at this point. If I get toned, great, that's great. But I just want to be intimidating. I want to look intimidating, but still be a sweet teddy bear.
Oh, I'm just intimidating.
Oh, I know, which is why you're a good friend of mine. I
Yes.
For some reason am always friends with the people who get scared of them, and it's just like, nah, they're great. They're great.
They're just a big old softie.
Well, I guess we can start off with a good first question we can ask you. So I randomly encountered you on TikTok and everything, just scrolling through, and then it was mainly through Drew first, seeing a duet with you. Yeah, no, it was through Drew, and then genuinely as soon as I saw a Black Lagoon, I was like, no one on this app has done Black Lagoon stuff. So I got more invested into you. So the big question I gotta ask you is why'd you start content creation? What got you into it?
So of course it was I was bored at the beginning of the panorama, if you will. So it was one of those so I used to do a lot of comedy stuff on Twitter. And my Twitter account was actually featured on a Comedy Central series at midnight back in the day, and I was actually almost invited on the show because of a contest that they were running. And a lot of it had to do with utilizing different social media platforms at that time. Twitter was the biggest one. So I immediately fell in love with Twitter from that, which is why you see me shit posting all the time because of that competition. So, and I missed they had us do Vine, and I was just I tried getting into Vine, but I just couldn't do it. I wish it was longer form. And then everything with TikTok, at the beginning, I was just am I really going to be that person? And I'm going to download TikTok. Am I really going to do this right now? Because I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think all of us went through that phase where we're am I really downloading this app?
Yeah, I'm looking at my phone. I'm I cannot believe I have this app on my phone right now. Jesus. So I was not thrilled about it at first. And then I stumbled upon anime side of TikTok. And I'm oh my God. People actually talk about anime on here. This is really cool. So started getting into it a little bit more and seeing all the cosplays and everything like that. And as you know, I've been a huge fan of Black Lagoon for years, since high school. And I was just there's no one talking about this anime, anywhere. I feel I should start making content on this. And back in I think it was July 2020, I made my first Revy cosplay TikTok to Let's Get Fucked Up and Die by Motion City Soundtrack, and just kind of took off from there.
Yeah,
then I did a JoJo pose and went viral. So. Oh
yeah, no, I was about to say the JoJo pose one is one of them that I seen. I forgot which Revy one it was because you have so many, but just in general, your Revy cosplay is oddly and crazy, just accurate to the actual character. I was just it's oddly satisfying just why you can literally just do anything random, and I'm this is just oddly satisfying that she actually looks like Revy.
It was one of those I was in such denial for the longest time about that because my friends were we started watching Black Lagoon because you recommended it to us because you won't shut up about it. I'm oh yeah, that, yes. They're you're a Revy, and I'm what? And they're just no, you look like Revy, you act like Revy sometimes when we go out, this is you. I'm no, it's not. No, it definitely isn't. No. And then the comparison started on TikTok. I'm oh, I'm starting to see this now. And then I put on the red hair filter. I'm well, fuck.
You just sit there oh dear God, I'm Revy.
I was just I was in denial for years about this. Good God. And I was yeah, you know what? I might as well lean into it a little bit.
Now with
and
that,
then it just
now about
taken
this,
over.
now I'm about to say, would that make Alex Rock?
They've gotten that comparison a lot. Yeah, like Alex was just like kind of in denial with Rock, and then something happened with a former job that he had that was very similar to what happened with Rock, except they didn't write him off as dead. But he was just like, oh my fucking god, I'm Rock. And I'm like, oh my god, we're Rock and Revy. This is not okay. Like,
I feel like you guys both just sat on the couch, had a bottle of
We
like
just-
alcohol. We were just like, oh my god, this is the weirdest realization I've ever had in my life.
right, I'm just like, look, it's one thing like if I kin somebody and like you kin somebody else from another show, it shouldn't be the people that we ship though. And he's like, yeah, we see too much of each other in these characters. This is not, oh god. But it's also a compliment. So it's just weird at first because it's like, all right, I'm being compared to like a drawing, but at the same time, like they have so much depth and like feel very realistic.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of the biggest things I loved about Black Lagoon was like low key. It was kind of like down to earth. Like there was no like off the wall stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Besides like, you know, obviously people just surviving gunfights that you clearly should be dead in. But
Right, that might be the most unrealistic thing about it. Everything else is just like, it's definitely one of the most grounded animes I've ever seen.
oh, big agree. I need
Yeah.
to rewatch it again. I watched
Oh,
it.
I'm
Like,
always going to encourage that, don't worry.
oh yeah, no, I've
I
watched it.
support this.
Yeah, I've watched it like twice when I was younger. I probably shouldn't have watched it when I was younger because maybe that's probably where my vulgarness has came from.
Oh, I definitely shouldn't have watched it when I was younger. I think I was 16, and then there were people that were just like, oh my god, I discovered this when I was in middle school. And I'm like, are you okay?
You
Like,
all right?
like, I'm like, seriously, are you okay?
Dude, Evangelion did that to me.
Oh god, I'm almost done with it.
Ah,
My first watch of Evangelion. I love it. It's just I haven't had a chance to sit down and like watch the rest of it. But I really do love it. We finished it was the episode with Asuka.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one.
Congratulations. Wait until you start getting into the movies and shit starts getting way more
Everyone
complicated.
says that.
Shit gets
Every
way more
single person says
complicated.
it. Oh, I can't wait. I love being crushed emotionally.
Well
So
then,
much fun.
oh yeah. Well then, with you getting into content creation, like obviously you start as soon as you started seeing growth, started seeing a lot more people seeing your stuff, the likes, the comments, all of that stuff. It gets really positive for you. So one of the questions I would like to ask is like, what are some goals you have with content creation?
So my biggest goal right now is to hit 100,000 on TikTok. My last goal that I really wanted to make was I wanted a Black Lagoon post of mine to hit 10,000 likes because it hadn't happened for as long as I've been doing it. Like they've picked up steam and everything, and like I've hit For You page and stuff like that, but I never had a Black Lagoon post hit at least 10,000 likes, and I finally have two that I can proudly say that I have reached 10,000 likes, and I'm really excited about that.
That's a good.
Except one of them I kind of bribed people with.
Hey, doesn't matter. You still got those 10,000 likes.
Doesn't matter. I still did it.
Exactly.
It's just I still need to follow up on that one because it was the skit with Rock and Benny making a TikTok, and like
Ooh,
because
I've
they were
seen that
bored.
one.
It was one of the slow days at Lagoon Company office, and Dutch is just like, "What are you guys up to?" And they're like, "We're making a TikTok," and he's like, "Okay, well, what kind of TikTok are you making?" They're like, "We're making thirst traps," and Revy's like, "Are you? No, no, this is hilarious." They're like, well, who's the one doing it? And it's Rock. And she's like, there's no way in hell. And the punchline is it goes viral. And I was just like, okay. Like, this is funny. And everyone's like, we need to see Rock's TikTok. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you really don't. And they were just like, no, we need to see Rock's TikTok. And the comments kept coming in. And I'm like, okay. You know what? I haven't had a post that is Black Lagoon related hit 10,000 likes. You get it to 10,000 likes, I will post the thirst trap. And oh god, they went in with that.
There you go.
They went all in. I was like, well, it happened. I'm excited. And oh shit, I have to do this now. Crap.
Hey man, your fans fucking love you, but I think like one thing that I noticed that people like enjoy is not only like you know the cosplays, the interactions and everything. The one thing I enjoyed that like I never really say much, but I notice it, Aaron, and I never say much about it because I respect you and I love it for it. Your writing, your script writing.
Thank you.
I actually pay attention. I was just like, because I went to college for journalism and media communication, took classes on script writing and stuff. So I
Yeah.
noticed that little bit of stuff. As soon as I started listening to everything, I was like, holy shit, Aaron's good at script writing.
Thank you. That's actually what I went to school for. I went to University of Pittsburgh and studied fiction writing, but I always wanted to be a screenwriter, and there wasn't a screenwriting track. So what they did was they had a deal with one of the film institutions around here. It was Pittsburgh Filmmakers at the time, and unfortunately it no longer exists. They had to shut down. But yeah, I would sneak off to there and take screenwriting classes. And my favorite teacher that I had, she was an Emmy Award-winning commercial writer, and also worked on a couple different pilots and everything. And I remember there was one class that we were talking about. She was just like, all right, I have one I need somebody to prove me wrong on this, but I am convinced that the worst pilot of all time, in my opinion, is the How I Met Your Mother pilot, which is one of my personal favorites. So we
Ooh.
got into this giant back and forth. I was like, okay, I think I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, that was like the most diverse pilot I've seen in a long time, especially for CBS, and the fact that they got away with as much as they did is impressive. So like we just kept going back and forth, and like 30 minutes later, like in front of the class, she was like, okay, I think you actually convinced me. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, you passed, get out. I'm like, yes.
Wait, she just straight up was just like, yeah, you passed.
She just straight up, she just straight up was like, I give up. And then like we started like doing comedy writing skits and everything, and I really started to hone in on that. And one of my favorite like techniques that I like to do with my writing, and I'm sure that you noticed it, is the rule of threes.
Yep.
For setting up the so like you establish a joke, remind them of the joke, and then deliver the punchline.
Yep.
And this, I forget what it was, but she made us, I think the assignment was writing an adaptation of a work, like anything written, or just like basing your work off of something. So of all the things that I chose to do was go the fuck to sleep.
The classic
and-
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, like she just looked at the thing and she's like, you wrote a scene based off of go the fuck to sleep. And I'm like, yes, I did. And she's like, I cannot wait to see this.
And I
it's
guarantee
been a
you
long
got
time
an A.
since I've, yes, I did. Like,
Knew
it's been
it.
a long time since I've seen that script, but like, I just remember her laughing so hard that she dropped her stuff off of the desk. Because like we had to perform it in front of the class.
You're
Like, you had to cast people. And I was just like, I'm not, they're like, she's like, the rule is you have to go in cold. My cast broke it. Like, they just completely broke on site. They were like, can we read your shit from now on? And I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely, let's go. Like,
Oh my god,
I love writing comedy so much.
I need to come to you about like script writing stuff whenever I write scripts and everything. Not for like
love
skits,
to.
but just for like in general, just seeing how good you are with writing for skits. I'm like, I wonder how she would do with writing a script for like describing something or like expressing like how much love you. Because I had like, you probably seen my TikToks where like I just talk about stuff. And like my writing is like there, but like sometimes I'm like, I want it to be more there, where someone's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, it's just like pushing the envelope, but not going too far with it. It's just like finding that balance and like walking that tightrope and everything.
Oh yeah, no.
Because it's just like that's the beauty of comedy. Like, yes, it can be black and white, but like it's the gray area that really drives that joke home. And if you can find that perfect balance, it really is great at setting the tone for your writing for the rest of whatever scene you're writing or whatever story you're telling. It's just really fun to play around with that.
It's so great, and that's why I fucking love like your content. I love your content, I love your cosplays, but it's the writing content, those skits and everything that just gets me, because
You're like one of the first people to say that, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Like I don't try to look at stuff from like a face value type of thing. I try to be like, all right, what really makes this skit pop out? And I'm like, it's really the writing. I'm like, because anybody could just throw on, you know, cosplays and look good and everything. And, you know, some people, when they do skits, they just find voice lines and stuff and they just like lip sync to it. And lip syncing is like a lot of work, but it's more work, in my opinion, to write something that actually is like funny and gets to the audience.
I think like the craziest thing about like the skits that I've written, so that day where I wrote like that whole series of the conference championships for NFL, with Rock, like, end up like predicting the end of the Super Bowl and everything, like who was going to be playing.
Yeah.
So I wrote the first script that morning, and I had 2 other skits set aside, but both of them were related to the Bengals losing. The Bengals won in overtime when I was filming that second skit, and I was like, oh my god, I just realized I didn't write a skit for if the Bengals won, because I was convinced they were gonna lose. And I was like, oh my fucking god, what am I gonna do? So that second skit where he's on the phone with Revy, I wrote in less than an hour.
That's impressive.
And then I went live for the outcome of the Rams. Oh my god, who the Rams play? I forget.
The Rams played the Bengals.
But no, I mean conference championship.
Oh, conference championship. Shit.
Yeah. I forget. Well, Rams won anyway. So I was live. My entire chat was popping off because they're like, "Oh my god, I think you actually predicted the Super Bowl," and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is actually happening." And it was Jackson Roden. She was like, "Aaron, you need to get off live right now, film a skit because I think this is actually gonna happen for you." I'm like, "Oh shit." So the one where Brock like comes in screaming "Who Dey," like Bengals and everything. That skit was written in less than 30 minutes, and I completely improvised all of Brock's lines. I only wrote Revy's.
That is genuinely fucking impressive.
I will never pull off anything that impressive ever again. I can promise you.
Press X to doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pressing X to doubt on that one. The way that you pull that off last minute, that's called creativeness at its fine. That's literally the best time when your creative juices just goes, when you're on a crunch. You're just like, oh shit, I need to think of something.
Like, I write better under pressure, but that day was just like, that was a fucking test. That day was a marathon. I was like, I cannot believe I just did this. Like, I am very proud of those 3 skits, but like, the way that the other 2 had like little to no prep behind them and like writing, just like flying by the seat of my pants, essentially. Just like, I'm like looking back at those, I'm like, I cannot believe I did that.
And that, just hearing that and just knowing that you just improvise makes those skits 10 times better. And like, I hope people that like listen to this, like from your like fan base and everything, from Minds, like when they listen to this, they realize like, dude, like we do this type of shit for them, and this is work. Like, this is real.
It's one of those,
work.
I'm like, it's one of those, it's hard to put into perspective how difficult it is to write a skit in general, but whenever you take on something like that, the expectations just like skyrocket, essentially.
Oh yeah.
Especially like when things like one thing like works out in your favor after another. And like, it is such an adrenaline rush, let me tell you.
Man. So with all of that, and like just, oh my god, just how impressive you are as a writer. Like,
thank you.
Genuinely, it impresses me, like, as a content creator, how well you are at writing. I have to know, who is one of your biggest inspirations? Like, doesn't matter if it's for content creation, for writing, who is your biggest inspiration?
Let me think about that. Honestly, like from a writing perspective, like one of my biggest influences used to be Tina Fey. I would say that she still is to an extent, but like it's kind of faded a little bit. Mostly because like she's just such a force whenever it comes to writing. Like she's super creative, like very like fast, quick, very witty, and just everything with 30 Rock. And like how she was literally like the head writer as a woman in a room full of men just making fart jokes and trying to get them to get their shit together. It's just like, like she's just a powerhouse. I love her.
That's
like trying to think of who else. Exactly.
I'm about to say, because this is the one question that always like stumps people, because like it's either A, they like know off the top of their head like this is who inspired me, or it's B, they're like, oh shit, I forgot who really did get me into this.
Right. No, it's like I feel like I take inspiration from a lot of places. Like another one, actually, like this is kind of funny. The way that I really channel like portraying Revy comes a lot from Elliot Reed from Scrubs.
Ooh, from Elliot?
Yes.
I have the. Oh my god.
I adored Scrubs growing up, and like Elliot was like one of my, like, I would say like non-anime related kins. Elliot Reed is definitely one of my top ones. And it's one of those, like, yes, like, she is a force to be reckoned with, but she's also flawed and very human. And she was one of those characters where it made it seem... It was one of the first characters to really show, like, it's okay to not be okay. And I really take that to heart whenever it comes to, like, a lot of my writing when it comes to female characters. Because she's definitely an inspiration with that.
Oh, yeah. Because there's... Like, I've seen a lot of writing with, like, female characters where, like, their, like, whole thing, and one of the main shows that I've seen in is, like, My Hero Academia with Ochako, and the whole, like, oh, man, like, Deku inspired me to do this, do that, and I'm just like, you know, we could really branch off more on the whole, like, I'm doing this hero stuff because I'm trying to make money for my parents. That seems more compelling,
right?
Than like, hey, I like Deku and he inspires me. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
No, I'm with you on that one. Like, I used to defend, like, it's one of those, like, the shift that I've taken with My Hero. Like, don't get me wrong, My Hero is a great series, but at first, like, I had a very hard time understanding where people were coming from when it comes to, like, Hirokoshi. I think I said his name right. I don't know, but Horikoshi, I think.
Yeah, it's Horikoshi.
Horikoshi. I couldn't really understand where people were coming from with the not writing women well in the series, and I was just like, okay, like, it's a shonen. I mean, it's geared towards, you know, teenage boys, so like they have different concepts of the demographic and what people are interested in terms of a Western culture. Like, since the show is made in Japan and the series is Japanese, it's not geared for a Western audience, it's geared for them. But the more I was watching it and the more I was looking into it, I was just like, I'm honestly starting to see where they're coming from.
Yep.
Which really sucks, because I'm just like, there's so many different angles that you can take with Ochako, and like Yaoyorozu even, hell, even the Invisible Girl. But it's just like, there's so much depth to the male characters that I really wish that they just acted on a little bit more with the women, you know?
Yeah, and even with what is it, Toga? Even she as a villain, they could have done a little bit more. Like, her whole thing with her is just like, oh, hey, I'm crazy. Oh yeah, I have this like yandere crush on Deku. And it's just sitting there just going like, is that it? Is that really it?
Like, yeah, like, there needs to be more depth to these women in this series beyond we're attracted to Deku in some sort of way, you know?
Right.
Because I feel like that's the only thing some of them have going for them, and that's like, relying on a man for character development is not the right way to go if you want to establish strong women in a series, which is why I love Black Lagoon so much. Because, like, they can stand on their own.
I just realized we really, like, diverged from the biggest inspiration thing, but, like, that was just good. Just because, like, like, we made, both me and you make, like, valid points on that. I think that's honestly why, like, I get more excited for shows that have, like, a female main protagonist that, like, does the typical, like, male shit. Because I'm like, I feel like that's more, like, character in depth than just, like, oh, your stereotypical, like, female protag, you know? But with that, moving on, let's see. I gotta bring up my phone again. You know what? This is always, we're getting to, like, two fun questions here. One of them being, what got you into anime? I actually want to know, what got you into anime?
Oh god, I remember, like, watching Pokemon a lot whenever I was a kid. And I always loved the art style, and I thought, like, that was just a specific animation style to Pokemon, and I had no idea it was an entirely different
genre.
Yes, like, genre, medium, however, like, you interpret it. But I was just, like, fucking around on YouTube whenever I got my iPod Touch back in high school, and I don't know what it was that got me interested in it. I stumbled upon Death Note on YouTube, and it was like part 1. I'm like, oh, what is this? And I started watching it, and I was like, this is a really interesting premise. And they were like, I'm seeing the comments, and everyone's like, oh, this is one of my favorite anime. I'm like, what's an anime? And then I started realizing like, oh, this is a different, like, there's actually a style of storytelling that's animation, but for different demographics. This is really cool. And I started like really getting hooked onto Death Note and watching it in parts. It was weird though, because I honestly thought that it ended after episode 25 because I could not find for the life of me the second half of Death Note until I got my Funimation account. I'm like, oh, there's more.
I feel like you probably shouldn't have watched anything past episode. I'm pretty sure episode 25 is when L. Spoiler alert! Like if you haven't seen Death Note,
I was like, yeah.
But yeah, I was about to say it probably would have been better for you to not seen the second half because.
Right. Like for the longest time, I thought that's how it ended, and I was just like, "What do you mean? There's more?"
I'm pretty sure it disappointed you when you heard like, "Wait, there's more." Like
yes,
that was good.
I was just like, "There's more! Oh my god!" And then I finished it. I'm like, "Oh, there was more. Okay."
I think that's how all of us were. We were just like, "Oh, there's more," and then we're like, "Why would they continue this?"
Right. It was one of the very few times that I was like, I have never been so happy about being wrong about something for the longest time. And then yeah. But after that I was just like, okay, like I'm curious about like other anime, and of course like the next one people were recommending after Death Note, people were recommending Black Lagoon. And I was just like, you know what, I'll give this a shot. And then as soon as Rock opened his mouth, I'm like, that's light. No wonder. I was like, okay. Like,
you're like, all right, cool.
I'm like, okay, cool. And I was just like, oh, light swearing. This is fun. This is really fun. And then I'm like, oh my god, this woman is swearing even more. This is right up my alley. Oh my fucking god. And then my next one was High School of the Dead.
Oh my, I keep telling everybody, and I got so much shit for saying this to someone because they were like, Walking Dead is one of the greatest zombie shows. I'm like, High School of the Dead High School of the Dead is literally better than that. I will promise you that. Oh, but if High School of the Dead just has titties and fan, no, it really doesn't. But all right, cool, go off.
Oh my god, like on my one like post about High School of the Dead, everyone's just like, oh my god, the fan service was so much. Alex and I rewatched it. Like it was his first time watching it, and of course, like I hadn't seen it in so long, and it was just like, was the fan service really as egregious as everyone is claiming it to be? No, it's used as a joke.
Oh yeah,
like that's the thing. They're not sexual. Like I wouldn't say like they're sexualizing the women per se, but like they're doing it in ways that is just like over the top. That is just like it's practically harmless.
One of the ones was obviously we both know the iconic sniper boob shot.
Oh my god!
In which everyone's like, that is literally not how boobs work. Boobs do not work that way.
Boobs don't work that way, and I was just like I remember seeing that the first time. I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. There's no way that woman's back is, you know, unaffected after that. Literally the next episode, you use my boobs to prop an AK-47 and now my back is fucked up. I'm like, oh my god, they understand. They understand the consequences.
I'm actually surprised none of them actually mentioned like, ow, I got, you know, a burn on my chest because you fucking propped your fucking gun on my chest and shot multiple times. Like,
right.
You would think...
Like, that's the thing, she did. She screamed. He was like, what? We were in a serious situation. She's like, my back is fucked up. And Alex is just like, this might be the one show that actually considered the consequences of doing something like that.
Hey man, they just needed to do it quickly. They had to take out all those zombies that were about to roll up on them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And with that, I gotta ask you this though. Everybody has, you know, that one moment of being a weeb, being an otaku. What's that one embarrassing moment for you?
Oh, let me think. It's been a while since I've had one. Honestly, I'm very thankful that I haven't had too many.
Oh, it's gonna happen now. Since I asked the question.
I know.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
Now.
It's gonna happen now. I think like the most embarrassing thing, like I don't cry easily. I am very thick-skinned. So like the running joke in my friends group is that I don't have emotions, which is true to an extent. So very few anime have made me cry. I was home alone and started Yuri on Ice. And Alex was away for the weekend. He didn't tell me that he was coming home early. I get to episode 6 or 7. It was whatever episode was the one where Yuri finished his routine and Victor leapt onto the ice and kissed him, and I just like had such a fangirl moment, and I didn't even hear Alex come in. And I was like, oh my god, and I start sobbing. And he was just like, what are you doing? I'm like, wait, what? Oh. Hi.
Just sitting
Hi.
there crying, looking at
I'm
him.
sitting
He's just
there
like,
crying, and he was just like, do I even want to know? And I'm like, this anime is beautiful. It is so beautiful. And he was just like, you're crying. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And he's like, Aaron, you're crying over an anime. Love story. A love story, like, in an anime. You're crying. I'm like, okay, so I'm crying. And then I made him watch it, and he understood.
I feel like at that moment, he probably just like looked at you and was like, I'm gonna go put my stuff in the bedroom, and I'm just gonna go make some food.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how it went down.
Oh my god, man, that's actually really embarrassing in general.
That's the only thing that comes to mind in terms of like embarrassing. Yeah, I really don't have that many. I'm very fortunate.
I think one of my only embarrassing like moments is legitimately being out somewhere in public and I see some stuff and people are like talking about like, oh my god, da da da. They were like, it looks so funny. I forgot what show it was that like someone had a shirt on. They were just making fun of it because it was like raunchy and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's blah 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 blah. It's based off of this show. And they just looked at me and they're like, what? I was like, oh shit, my weed came out. And I was like, never mind. I was like, never mind. And then my second one was with my family. My family did not know how much I've been turning my nieces and nephews into weebs, and I love it, and I'm going to do that for every single fucking like child that comes into our family. Every one of them will be weebs if I have to do it myself.
Absolutely. And that is a good mission to be on.
Oh yeah, my 15-year-old niece, she wanted some stuff, and she was talking about Attack on Titan. My like family straight up was just like, what is that? We don't know what that is. We don't know. And literally the only person that went and asked me and like told me to like, what is this, was my mom. And she was just like, okay, I know you know what this is. What is this? And I explained to her what it was, and she was just, the only question she asked was like, is this appropriate for children? In my head, I had an angel on one side go like, tell her it's not appropriate right now. She's not 18 yet. A lot of the stuff that happens in this story is mentally traumatizing. The devil side, nah, get her started early. Get her started early. Do it. And I was like,
the Kermit, do it.
Do it. And I straight up was just like, yeah, no, Attack on Titan is fine. And just got her she almost has every single volume, and I am so proud of her because she's read almost all of them.
That's awesome.
And we just always talk about anime and stuff. And it's so funny because her dad, which is my brother, and her mom, they just look at us when we talk about that stuff, and they're just so clueless. They're just like, what are they talking about? And they're like, oh
my god. No, it's really funny because like my cousin, she's a teacher, and she was like, it was like in the middle of class, but one of her students asked, do you watch anime? And she was like, no. No, I don't watch anime. That's where did this come from? And they were just like, oh, okay, no reason. And she's like, I mean, my cousin does. And they're like, who's your cousin? And she's like, are you guys on TikTok? And they're like, we just want to hear you say it. And she's like, you guys know something, dude. And they're like, are you related to Aaron, not Aaron? And she's like, yes, she is. And they're like, how has Aaron not convinced you to watch anime? And she was like, well, I know the anime that Aaron talks about on her app. What are you guys watching right now? They're like, we started Black Lagoon because of her. And she's just like, you guys are freshmen. No. She was just like, they're like, it's so good. And she's just like, look, Aaron's been talking about that series for over a decade. I know exactly what it's about. You guys need to not knock it off. No, you can't be watching that right now.
It's like, please don't watch that. Just wait until you graduate, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and she texted me, and she's like, yeah, so my students are watching Black Lagoon thanks to you. I'm like, you're welcome.
just a evil smiley face going like, you're welcome.
I know. I was just like, they should also check out Attack on Titan, and she was just like, no, I know about that one too. I'm like, but it's a World War II allegory. It'll be very helpful for education purposes. And she's like, oh my.
She's like, don't you dare try to flip the script on me, Aaron.
Exactly. No, I thought it was funny.
Oh, that is great. That's priceless.
Like, I'm just like, I'm also wondering. I'm like, how did you guys figure that out? Like, that's impressive.
Oh god. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, hey, we're getting into the fun part of the podcast. So you've seen it. I've done Smash or Passes. I've done Would You Rathers. I've done all of that. With you specifically, I'm going to do a who would win, and we would discuss. But it's gonna be specifically characters with guns.
Ooh, okay.
So I got the first one up. First one, Spike Spiegel versus Vash the Stampede.
Okay, I wish I'd seen Trigun to like know the answer to that. Oh crap. I know that Vash is really good as a gunslinger.
Oh,
but only reason why I'm saying Spike is because the whole alien thing and just being pretty much a different breed, essentially.
I would have said because since I'm thinking like pure gun skill, I would honestly have to say Spike also, because if you remember that one episode with the alien thing going around in the ship, and he just got every weapon you could think of, and he's just like, all right, let's go. Like,
right. Like, he's very skilled. He's also like, he's been in the industry for such a long time and has a lot of experience. So he's really good with staying cool under pressure. So like, I feel like he's definitely like the most, just like most experienced, most level-headed out of a lot of anime gunslingers. So I feel like, yeah, Spike would definitely take it.
Yeah. And the thing with like Vash, I can tell you, is that like, he's goofy, and he's just lucky with his revolver. He sometimes just gets lucky.
Yes.
And like people chalk it up to like, no, he plans it. He's skilled. I'm like, no, like half that ish he does is just pure luck. Even he is like shocked, like, oh, I just did that. I was not expecting that.
Right, I did hear that about him. So like that's another reason why I was just like, it's probably Spike.
Yep. So I agree with you on that. I would say Spike would probably win in a pure gunfight. Now, if Powers were involved, now Vash would stomp him. I'm sorry. Second one, Death the Kid from Soul Eater versus Guido Mista from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Ooh. Huh.
That one would actually be interesting.
That's a tough one.
Cause like theoretically, wouldn't like his weapons technically be like a allegory to like a JoJo stan? Because almost everything in anime is a JoJo's reference.
Everything in anime is a JoJo's reference. Like, it's just it's been proven time and time again. I think I'm gonna have to go with Guido. I think I'm gonna have to go with Mista.
Go with Guido? Why you say that?
It's just like, because of like, oh god, I'm like trying to think. It's been so long since I've seen Soul Eater. But like, I know that Death the Kid is a really talented gunslinger as well. But in terms of like Mista and his relationship with his stand specifically, and being able to coordinate, not like just with one stand like everybody else in JoJo's, but he has, if I remember right, it's like pretty much like 5 in one stand. Like they all have their individual personalities.
Yep.
So because of that like teamwork that he's learned to adjust to over time, he's very familiar with the bullets and also like avoiding superstitions as well.
And I think in this fight, like I'm thinking about it, the minute that Guido does not do a proper stand, as in like position of holding the gun, he like does some like crazy way of holding it, I think Death the Kid's OCD will literally overload. It'll be like, stop, sure. literally stand perfectly still, stop.
Yeah, it'll be too much of a distraction.
It would be so great. And I would just love to see Death just like sit there, just start having a seizure from seeing all that stuff overload his OCD. Like he's on the ground like, no, stop, please.
It's like, no, you gotta hold it this way.
Oh god. So yeah, I have to go with you on that one too, Guido. I have to go with Mista on that one.
I love Mista.
All right. So next one, we got Usopp as Sniper King versus Snipe from My Hero Academia.
Oh god.
I always keep this one thing in mind. Snipe literally could have just ended My Hero Academia at like what episode like third? I forgot which episode it was where like you just see him shoot. Oh fuck, what is his name? His
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he shot him, and like there's this whole theory saying like he purposely. Well, actually, yeah, he did. He purposely missed. He could have just shot his head and been like, "Well, that's it. We're done. We're good."
Yeah. Now I'm like trying to keep that in mind too, because like he's very accurate. And it's just like, well, obviously Usopp is too, but I think because of you know, Usopp's like fear of like, you know, standing up and like taking accountability and everything, it's just like, oh, I did this. But it's also like when it comes to being brave, it's also very challenging for him. I would probably have to go with Snipe.
Go with Snipe?
Yeah.
For me, I feel like I would have to go.
I'm also not far enough in One Piece, like to see like the like character growth. I'm like still in the hundreds for One Piece.
Yeah, for me, I haven't gotten that far yet, but I know I've gotten far enough where like I've seen Sniper King, and the only reason why I'm saying Sniper King is because his confidence goes through the roof when he's like Sniper King. It's actually like
yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet then.
Ooh.
But I do yeah. Main reason why like was tough and everything like that, because like Usopp's a very accurate shot too. But it's just like it's also hard to go against somebody that's like accurate every single time.
Oh yeah,
like Snipe.
Yeah, his literal quirk ability is just his quirk ability is just telling you I don't miss.
Exactly. Yeah, so like it's kind of hard because it's just like, yes, Usopp is accurate, but not that accurate.
Yeah. So I guess for both me and you, I would say Sniper King, because I feel like his confidence would get him through the fight and like he would just figure something out. But I can see why it would Snipe. I clearly see why it would Snipe.
Like he don't miss.
Now this last one, I actually did a little bit of digging about another anime that you've seen. I seen it only one time in one of your TikToks, and I was just like, I was happy that you actually watched it. So first one is Revy.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Revy from Black Lagoon versus Sagara Sonosuke. Sorry.
Oh, Sosuke Sagara. Oh, I was expecting you to say Alucard. Oh my god.
Ooh, no, not Alucard. Bro, Revy would get destroyed by Alucard. I'm sorry.
I know she would. No, I know she would. Like, no, I thought like because of the TikTok that like happened with the anime filter, like the anime parents filter, when I said like this couple on Valentine's Day is too focused on having sex rather than their date, and the result that came up was Alucard and Revy, and I lost my shit. I almost died.
Oh no, Alucard legitimately probably would just start off that fight by saying, "I'm gonna take a very enthusiastic walk."
Yes.
I'm gonna take an enthusiastic walk. But no, Sagara from Full Metal Panic going against because I remember in
That's
one
an unexpected one. Oh.
Yeah, I told you I did some I told you I did some digging on you.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
I told you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. No, because it's like, of course, like Revy Two Hands, like she has earned that nickname because she can dual wield pistols, which is damn near impossible. Like, and like being able to do that is like in general, and just being able to fire at the same time, like that's impressive as it is. But like the fact that she's so accurate is
scary.
Also, yeah, it's scary and also like unheard of. And it's one of those, like, she just has her training from Mr. Chang, like head of the Hong Kong Triad, who's also a very insanely accurate shooter. Sosuke has the army background and discipline. So he's also very well versed in his weaponry. Like, they both have an insane knowledge of what weapons they have at their disposal. And just like how powerful each one is, what's gonna get the job done. So like, yes, both of them are like insane, like gun enthusiasts at their core. But I'm sorry, Revy, I think Sosuke's taking it.
You think Sagara's got that?
Sakura's got it because he's too formal, like he's too disciplined, and that's gonna drive her up a wall.
It's gonna drive her up a wall. Honestly, I would have to say
It's gonna turn out a lot like the Roberta fight.
it'll be
If you think about it.
it'll be crazy, but honestly, I would think Revy, just because hearing it one time for me in Black Lagoon was when she encountered that one general or whatever, and he was describing his gun, and then the second she shot him,
yes.
it was just like, it doesn't fucking matter what gun you have as long as you can fucking shoot it.
Fuck up.
Exactly. So I'm just
God.
she's the type of
I love
person.
that scene.
Yeah, Revy is the type of girl where it's like, you put her on a field, she doesn't have her guns, and if you just tell her, yeah, there's a shotgun like 3 meters away from you, if you grabs it, shoots it, starts using that shit, she looks like a
she's
guerrilla
all right,
warfare.
bet. Yeah.
So I would have to say Revy for that fight.
Yeah, I love her to death, but it's just like, oh god. Yeah.
So
It's like one of those kids, like, obviously, like, it could go either way. Or it could just end in a draw, who knows. But
it'd be insane.
that would be an insane fight.
I would love to see something like that.
Oh my god, same.
Well then, I have enjoyed this talk with you. This has been great. I'm so happy that I got a chance to actually talk with you. I need to do some more shit with you and Alex. I want to do some shit like with both of y'all. I've been
my god, for sure.
Yeah, I've been talking with Drew and some other people. I want to get like a big like TikTok type of event going on, but I gotta make sure I plan everything out properly so that it works out for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
But
no, I'd be down. Yeah.
Hell yeah. With that being said, you got anything you want to say? Throw out your socials, anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter. Handles the same. Well, actually, no, my Twitter's different because, like, for some reason, won't let me change it to match everything else. But Aaron_not period Aaron, spelled with a Y and then an I. But yeah, follow me for anime content and my hyperfixation on Black Lagoon, obviously.
All right, thank you so much, Aaron, for joining me with this. And if you
Thanks
guys,
for having me.
hey, it's no problem at all. It's no problem.
Yeah, no, this was fun.
No, I have to do this again with I want to get like a fun little podcast thing. Like I wanted to do like you know how like the Avengers are. It's just like this whole like gathering of everybody, and I want to just put everybody in one podcast video, and we just shoot the shit on stuff.
Oh god, put me and Drew in a room together. That's gonna be insane.
Oh my god. Hey, I mean, low key right now, I'll say this right now in this video, the next person I want to try and get on here is RJ. I'm gonna try and message him and talk with him.
Oh my god, RJ. Put me, Drew, and RJ in a room together. That thing is gonna go buck wild.
Oh my god, I am
Oh
excited.
my god.
Well, I'll definitely have to keep that in mind.
I can confidently say, like, we just shit on each other constantly. It's a beautiful friendship, let me tell you.
Oh, that podcast would actually go crazy. I would love that.
Oh god. If we can make that happen, I will lose it.
I just gotta plan everything out properly. Just make sure everyone is on the same page and just be like, hey, here's a date. Can y'all do this?
Like, I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be us mediating between RJ and Drew, bickering back and forth about their cosplays, and then it's gonna turn into Drew making fun of me for simping over Rock, and then RJ just like making fun of me too, even though he hasn't seen it yet. But yep. Like, Drew's just gonna be like, you picked the most boring man to simp over. I'm like, you cosplay him, don't even go there. Like,
oh god. Well, that's something Well, I'm telling you right now, that'll be something that everyone will be excited for. But again, thank you so much, Aaron, for coming out.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Hey, it's no problem. And again, if you guys could, be sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to be notified from any of my next videos. I'll catch you guys later in the next one. Ciao.